Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. Today I'm going to be doing my crowdfunding review for the month of November 2021. I'll be talking about the games that I backed, the games that I followed and didn't back, the games that are still running into December that I'm still following, and even a few games that are launching soon in December to talk about. So if you're curious to see which games I've been following and backing on Kickstarter and Gamefound, stay tuned. All right, so the first game up was Biome Borneo tabletop game, and unfortunately it was canceled. And this is one that I backed. I'll be starting with the games that I backed in the month of November. This one really interested me for a couple of reasons. I liked the theme of the game, and having lived in Indonesia for over a decade, that was really intriguing to me to see Borneo as the setting. I liked the 3D nature of the way these tiles added up vertically, and it just looked really pretty. I love the art, and I liked what they were trying to do in terms of the goals of their game and their company supporting environmental causes and trying to have a sustainable model for their company and for producing their games. So this is one that I did back that got canceled. They are hoping to bring it back in 2022, so I'm looking forward to that and hope they're able to do that. So that is Biome Borneo. The next one wasn't actually in November, but it's one that I got a little caught up in the whole Role Player Adventures. That Kickstarter arrived, and then Role Player Cartographer's Heroes, that game arrived. And I got excited about those games, and I thought, I really should just add Lockup to the collection. And so I found the late pledge for Lockup Breakout. Lockup is also in that role player world, and it is a game that is by Stanislav Kordansky, who has created Rurik and also the current Resurgence that just recently finished on Kickstarter. And so very curious to see what he's done with this game. And I, again, love the role player universe. And so I went ahead and backed this expansion, Breakout, and picked up the base game. So I'm confident enough in the role player universe and what they've done with the other games that I was willing to go ahead and pick up the base game and this expansion as part of the Kickstarter. So that's a late pledge. So it's a little bit of adjacent to the November month. And then in November, I did back Skulls and Sedlec. This is a button shy game, and it is a Kickstarter. I have not purchased any of the Button Shy games before, so I picked up this Skulls of Sedlec expansion collection with all the different expansions, and I also then chose to pick up a couple others that were available as one of the packets, one of the combos. And so this will be my first foray into that Button Shy world with those little pocket games. And let's see, I picked up this one, so I'll be getting Tussie Mussy and Sprawlopolis, which I know are two other games really well loved. All right, another one that I backed is Kinghill. This one was tough. It looks so beautiful, and but I'm afraid the head-to-head combat may keep it from getting to the table as much as I want it to. But in the end, it was so unique and so beautiful, and the gameplays that I watched, eventually I just like, you know what, I'll find a way to play this, and you can play it solo. So although I don't prefer to play solo, I thought, I really want to try this unique take on this kind of a game. So I did back Kinghill. And I'm excited about that one. I think the art and the fantasy theme or setting is one that I really enjoy. And so definitely looking forward to this. Tantrum House says, I personally haven't seen a game that mixes two genres like worker placement and card battle like this before. Actually super refreshing to see an original concept. And so I did pick up this one. Very excited by Violet Dragon Games, I believe. Yes, and excited to see this one come to fruition eventually as well. The next one that I did back was a big month for backing, unfortunately. Unfortunately, depending on your view. I also backed Hanamikoji Geisha's Road. And Hanamikoji is a great two-player game, and this one just looks like it takes it and turns it up a notch. So it's got a lot of those same I pick, you choose kind of devices in the game, but then with an extra rondelle sort of arrangement where you're moving these tokens around this circle and trying to gain lanterns. So that you got multiple things going on in this game, which really, like I said, just takes Hanamikoji and boosts it up a notch, I think. And so I just got the base game for this one. I didn't get any of the other expansion stuff for now. We'll see when the pledge manager comes if I end up going on. But for the price and for all the stretch goals that they were able to achieve, I decided it'd be worth it to go ahead and pick this one up. I didn't go for the bigger one with all the different games just because the shipping started to get really outrageous at that point. All right, the next one that I backed was Resurgence. I mentioned Stanislav Kardonsky earlier, and this is a game. Again, he's the creator of Rurik. This is his own company now, Half a Kingdom Games, and this one is set in kind of a post-apocalyptic Moscow setting, and it sounds really interesting. I saw that a couple of playthroughs, and a lot of people really getting excited about this one. The theme is dripping over the entire production. There's Stan and all the different games he's been involved in. And to be honest, I haven't played very many of them, but I've just heard so many great things. I really want to try this Endless Winter, Shadows of Valeria, I think, Shadow Card Kingdom of Valeria, something like that. I'd like to try that. I do have Rurik, but it's on my shelf of opportunities, so needing to get that, hopefully over Christmas break, to the table. It's got a solo mode, which is always an extra bonus, and just lots of stretch goals here to make the deluxe version that you could get here through the Kickstarter even better. And his games haven't typically, if they've come to retail, it's been limited release through a website. And with this being his own company, I'm not really sure how that's going to work. So I decided it would be worth go ahead and picking this up. Something about it just reminded me of Maquis, which is a recent Kickstarter that I also received and have been playing as a solo game. And it's a different setting. I don't know why it made me think of that, but I've been enjoying that one so much. I think that maybe affected my desire to go ahead and back this one as well. So looking forward to trying Resurgence. All right. Now we get into, one more. I did back this one as well. Call to Adventure Epic Origins. This is by Brotherwise Games, and I have not played any of the Call to Adventure games and decided I would make my jump into that realm here for this Kickstarter. This is one where you're actually working through your adventure and building up your character RPG style, but not in an RPG game, and basically creating the story of your character over 3 eras. And it sounds like they've kind of taken their original Call to Adventure games and sort of tweaked some things to make it even better than the originals. The art has always appealed to me. The gameplay has always been intriguing, but I just haven't taken the chance to try it. And so I just again went in with the base game and the Kickstarter extras here. I was tempted to go, actually, I think I did go the hero level so I could get the deluxe version of the game with this nice cover. But I didn't get any of the epic ones with the other games yet. I thought I really want to try this one first before I jump in. And I know these are pretty readily available through other retailers, and so I'll possibly pick those up in the future if I really do enjoy Epic Origins. But again, just really beautiful. And this one, they really knocked it out of the park, just uncovering tons and tons of stretch goals because of the success of this one. So, and those are the ones that I backed. So a heavy month of backing, 1,000% funded on this one. So incredible. Now into the ones that I followed but chose not to back. And you can see with all the ones that I did back, I had to draw the line somewhere. There were a lot of really good ones in the last month. Jiangnan, I'm not exactly sure how I say this. I was following this one. It looked really interesting, but this one did get canceled. And I've heard rumors it's probably going to be relaunching in January. So it's postponed for now. So I won't talk too much about it because we don't know if it will launch again. But any of the ones set in kind of an Asian theme always kind of catch my attention for some reason. That is a setting too that just draws me in. And so I was curious to try it out, but unfortunately it did get canceled for now, hoping it does come back in the future. Another one, Trinity of Rain. This one looked interesting with the this 3D buildings that you were building onto the board. And again, it also got canceled, hoping that that one comes back. I hadn't backed either of those, but I was definitely following them and potentially looking for an opportunity too. Now some of the others that I followed and didn't back. One is For Glory. I've heard great things, particularly from Alex at Board Game Co. He seems to really enjoy this game, and a lot of others as well. Late pledge is coming soon, though, and it does have the Dice Tower seal of approval. I think this would be a game that I would enjoy, but I wasn't sure, again, with the sort of head-to-head combat, if I would find a lot of people in my family willing to play it with me. So for now, I decided to hold off on this one. Maybe I could pick up a used copy sometime or find a chance to play with one of my game groups, and then if I enjoy it, then maybe try to trade for it or find another way to pick this up or hope for maybe another Kickstarter with expansions in the future. But yeah, if you're interested in this kind of head-to-head battle, you can look into when a potential late pledge comes up for this one. This one's by Spielcraft Games. Another one that I followed but didn't back is Orange Shall Overcome, The Dutch Resistance by Marcel Kohler. And late pledge, you can contact them here at Liberation Game Design. And I may end up backing this one. This one, again, kind of seemed a little bit of overlap with that Resurgence game that I did back. But this one just seemed a bit expensive for kind of an unknown, but it does look beautiful. So here is it. Missed the campaign? Don't panic. If you want a late pledge, click the late pledge button if it's still active. or go to the website and by clicking on this image. So if you're interested in this one, check this out. Part of what drew me in is that Jay Cormier has some great games, Mind Management or Mind MGMT and Hall the Mountain King, and so really highly acclaimed games, and so I was drawn in because of that. Also that Dutch theme. We have family with that kind of background. Our son-in-law's family is from Holland, and so I'm just curious to know more about this part of history that I don't really know anything about. And so this one looked really interesting. A cooperative pick up and deliver game where players assume roles of real members of the Dutch resistance in World War II. A scenario-driven game as well. But the art and the theme just really were beautiful and intriguing. In the end, though, like I said, I had to draw the line somewhere. This was probably the hardest cut for me, though. I was very, very interested in this one. So like I said, I may end up late pledging this at some point. But this one is one that didn't quite make the cut, as wonderful as it looks. If you're interested in late pledging, we'll look at the pledge levels here. I thought about the print and play, but when I ever do that, I end up never actually playing the game, even if I do print it out. So the English copy, 55 euros. And then you can get the Dutch copy. You've got English and Dutch copy, and so there's not too many choices. So this is kind of what you're looking at if you're interested in late pledging. I don't know if the price will be the same on the late pledge or not, but if you're interested, you can check that out. There's one that I was very interested in, still possibly. December looks like a very light month. I don't really have any that I like sure thing backing in December yet, and so maybe I'll end up late pledging this one. Titania Ascending by XYZ Game Labs. This is another one that just really drew me in. As much as I love cartographers and that style of game, this map game that kind of reminded me of cartographers but cooperative really was interesting to me. That flip and right style where you're mapping out an adventure really here. And it looked pretty challenging. I watched Man vs. Meeple's playthrough, and very interesting. Multi-phase game where you're filling in these maps and having to fill them in the first phase to accomplish tasks in the second phase. The art was good. This particular theme and art isn't necessarily as intriguing as fantasy and some of the other ones, but it still looked really nice. I think the emblems on here looked pretty cool. And so I was very drawn into this one. It was also a hard cut, but again, couldn't back everything that I was interested in. And I feel like with just getting cartographers and with all the new different maps for that to play. And by the way, they also, Thunderworks Games just recently posted that they have a build your own map for cartographers. So you can use a website to build your own and print it out. So back to this one though. This one, like I said, had that cartographer's feel, but with 2 layers of play and cooperative play. So very tempted. Might be one that I'll reconsider in the future again if it comes to retail, or actually I do think this one may have, it says follow along, so I'm not sure if they're going to have a late pledge or not, but it does look really intriguing. So definitely going to be watching to see if a late pledge is available or to see if it comes to retail. Over here in terms of the options, they had the Vanguard, a physical copy of the game, and then the Sorcerer, you get the game and the neoprene play mat. So it wasn't really a very expensive game, but again, like I said, after having so many that I backed, I just had to eventually say enough's enough. And so then there's the Ascended Pledge where you get quite a few other things, swag pack basically of other items. So if you're interested in this, keep an eye out on this game. Maybe bookmark this page so you can come back. I'll have links to all of these pages down in the description below in case they put up a late pledge later. All right, another one that I followed was Honeybuzz Fall Flavors. Now, I have not played the original Honeybuzz, but I've really wanted to. And so I was tempted to go all in here and get the original and get the expansion, but boy, this one's an expensive one, and I think for good reason. The components by Elf Creek Games are always top-notch. The art in this one is just gorgeous, and people are in love with Honeybuzz. So I'm sure it's a game that I would really enjoy, but I didn't want to just get the standard game if I was going to get it through Kickstarter, so I might end up just picking up a standard game, trading on BGG, or trying to find it some other way. I know it's not necessarily real easy to find right now, but I would like to try it. Maybe someone in my board game group has it, and I'll get a chance to play with them. When you go to the deluxe components and the price raises up, and since I don't have the base game, then it was going to be, an even more expensive proposition for me. So I decided not to back this one, but it does look gorgeous, and I've heard just nothing but good things about this game. So you can see here the Pledge Manager is basic for just the expansion, $29, $59 for the deluxe, and then if you want the game and the base game and the expansion deluxe, then it's $179. And for one game, even with an expansion and as high quality as I just couldn't justify that kind of cost. So I'll be looking for a different way to play this, hopefully. I know I could have come in here to the add-ons and tried to get the standard game, but still we're looking at going to be $100 by the time I get the game, and even the regular expansion, the non-deluxified, and then also with shipping. So for now, holding off on this one, but I do really hope to play Honey Buzz at some point, and would love to try this expansion too. Another one that I was following, the Nano 9 games, Railway, City Planner, and Empire. So this is a unique take, 9 cards, 9 dice, 9 cubes, just a kind of micro game style, nano games even here instead of micro. But this one looked pretty interesting. I saw Rado's review. He was pretty intrigued and really liked a couple of these games. Then afterwards, I heard that there's a way you can possibly combine them together and play a bigger game. Yeah, here we go, Nano Combine #1. So it kind of reminds me of that Century trilogy of games that you can combine. So that intrigued me, but I just haven't ever really latched on to like the Tiny Epic series. I've played a number of those games and just they haven't meshed with me very well. And so there's just very few small games that have really hit the sweet spot for me. So in the end, I decided I would let it come through, see how people respond to it when they actually get it in hand, maybe see if I could find a used copy down the road. Maybe one of my, again, friends from one of my board gaming groups will end up having it that I could try. So I think this is maybe one of those try before I buy opportunities. I did think it was pretty cool that there were 3 games with all different kinds of styles of play, and you could buy them one by one, or you could buy them as a set, and you could even play them one by one or play them together. So the minimalistic approach, I appreciate it, but for whatever reason, that minimalistic approach just hasn't jived with me too much. You can see if you're interested, because let's see, is there a late pledge on this one? Not yet, but you can see if you're interested, you can get 1 nano game for 18 euros, you can get 2 for 36, 3 for 45, so not much of a difference there, but yeah, if you're interested, keep an eye on this one. Maybe there will be a late pledge available in the future. Next up, Karigar-e-Taj, and there is a pre-order link coming soon, so if you missed this one, you can check that out. Again, all the links down below. This is by Dice Toy Labs, and this one, the theme of being in India, I've visited India before, and the art just was really beautiful. Building the Taj Mahal sounded pretty cool. You play the role of a Karigar, an artisan, and strategically place your workers to gather the material you need in an ever-changing bazaar or market. And you are not alone. Rival artisans seek the Emperor's favor too. Gather goods and coins, plan your movement, optimize your resources, fulfill your secret blueprint objectives, and use your resources wisely to build the Taj level by level. So it looked really interesting. I thought the board was pretty. I thought the art was pretty and the components were nice. Had some pretty good feedback on people who appreciated the game, and I was tempted again with this one. It sounded like it would be a fun game to play. Wasn't particularly expensive, $35 for the courtier level, a place in the Emperor's Court, and then if you want the deluxe version, it's $60. I found this one kind of late though, and I had already backed some of the other games. I decided hold off on this one too. Maybe, hopefully, it will come as a late pledge. Looks like that's going to be coming soon, or pre-order where you can order it. And then I've also heard good things about this Indus game. I think Rado has talked about this one and really enjoys this game. I think he compared it to Cartographers, but said he enjoyed it even better than Cartographers, if I'm remembering correctly. So looks really great. Wooden components in the deluxe version. Great tiles, great art. I think the theme sounds fun, but ended up not going for this one. Next up, Hegemony. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This one is one that I think it sounds cool. You can late pledge this one, but I'm not really sure. As I looked at the weight level of this game, I just thought this one probably won't get to the table too much. The game length and the game weight, I think, might just kind of put it outside of where it would reach our table often with the way our gaming family works. It sounded interesting though, driving the economy from an asymmetric setting. So some are the working class, the middle class, the state, the capitalist class. It sounded really intriguing, but I think it probably would be better at 4 players to get all those classes intermixed. And it's just such a big game, a longer game, deeper game. Just, again, looks great, looks very intriguing. I've heard all good things about the gameplay. Also thought really cool that it comes with an educational booklet to teach you about the concepts of government and economy. That would something I could learn about for sure. But in the end, like I said, for the reasons I mentioned, just decided that this probably wasn't going to be a game for us. would love to play it sometime. And I have a pretty strong feeling there's going to be someone in my gaming group that meets here in town that's going to pick this one up, and hopefully I'll get a chance to play it. So this is one I do really hope to play in the future, but just chose not to back it for the time being. And now we get to the ones that are still live. So these are the ones I'm still following. Heroes of the Shire. Now, I've been following Heroes of the Shire for months before this Kickstarter. I found them through Facebook and Instagram, posting pictures, and the art just was really intriguing. I have to admit that initially I thought it was going to be based on Lord of the Rings, which is my go-to theme, and was a little disappointed when it wasn't. And then when I found it was kind of more of a head-to-head sort of battling game, that kind of pulled off the shine a little bit for me again, just because in my family, most of the people in my family aren't that into that combat style game. And I already have a lot of combat games I can't get to the table because I can't get people to play with me. I was more intrigued on this one because you can play it solo, so I thought, well, maybe I could try that. But I have a lot of those games on the shelf too that I'm just not getting to the table as much. So kind of leaning away from this one, as intriguing as it is, and the company I think has done a great job of promoting this before, Senior Games, and I've heard great things from some of the reviewers that I really respect. I love the fact that they've got multiple different scenarios and different settings with the Fire and Ice collection and the Earth and Water collection, or you can get the whole collector's edition with all of it. Art looks great. I think the theming sounds really fun. Kind of reminds me of Dice Throne a little bit with the way you're trying to get certain patterns of your combat. And Better Half Reviews gave it a good review. They really seem to love it a lot. A lot of people really seem to love this game. So still following it, still considering it. Just not sure. Like I said, I'm just worried that this would be one of those games that I'm all excited about and I get it, and it just sits on the shelf because I can't find a good way to play it. And also, I tend to be one of those that just wants to go all in, and you can see those prices start to add up really quickly. £60 for either of the individuals, 80 if you want the collectors, and then the hero you're up at 109, and then the epic you're at 209, which is that's a big investment. And then there's all these different add-ons as well. If you're interested, there are several different playthroughs if you want to check it out for yourself. This one ends December 9th, so today is the 4th when I'm recording this. So if you are interested, check it out. You got a little less than a week. The characters sound really intriguing. Art looks really great. Like I said, great reviews. Looks terrific. I'm just, because of the style of gameplay, I just think it would end up on the shelf too much for me. But still following it. Haven't made my final decision yet. Maybe I'll talk to Bryce and Allison and see if they can talk me into it. If not, I think they're coming down this way in January, late December, early January. So I'm hoping to get together with them here down in the LA area where I live and play some games. So looking forward to meeting with them in person. I've only met them one other time in person, so looking forward to hopefully having a chance to do that again late December, early January. All right, next, the three new Valeria-Universe games. I have not played any of the Valeria games before, but this is interesting to me that we've got the Thrones, which is trick-taking. We've got the Dice Kingdoms, roll and write, and we've got the Siege, which is tower defense. I'm not as keen on trick-taking. I like some roll and writes, but they're kind of hit or miss for me. Tower defense, I really do enjoy, so checking this one out. Definitely going to keep my eye on it. A lot of people love the Valeria Kingdom games. This is by Daily Magic Games. You can get any one for 30, any two for 55, any three for 75, and an extra game would be 25. So you can see other package opportunities here as well. They've got a few of the stretch goals already crossed off. So this one you've got solo and multiplayer modes for the roll and write Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. So art looks good. I think it's by the Micho, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like his art. I actually don't know, but it just kind of rings that bell for me. Probably does say here somewhere. So maybe you can leave a comment down below to confirm that for me if you know. But that's what it looks like to me. It very much reminds me of the Garfield games type of art. So I'm assuming that's who did it. Looks interesting. I'm definitely intrigued. Download and print out the rule books. Might try that. Try it on TTS. Might try that. 6 days left for this one. So have to make my decision here the next week. Lots of people here that are giving good feedback. Here's the tower defense game. This is the one that I think probably intrigues me the most, because that type of game I think is the one that intrigues me the most. But looking at the pictures of the gameplay, just not sure. I know it's TTS pictures. The art looks great. That's not a thing. Just how the game would play. Not really sure. So I probably just do need to get on Tabletop Simulator, give it a try. I haven't really watched too many reviews on this one either. I've watched a few, so most of them have been more like previews where they don't really show playthrough of the game yet. So, and then trick taking, probably the least interested in this one. We tried the crew and it just didn't go over that well with us. It was fun, but most of our group just isn't into trick taking too much. So again, I think it might be a little harder to get this into the table. Yeah, we'll see. See if we can find the shipping estimates here. Well, click here for shipping estimates. We'll see probably a chart. Yeah, for US, 7 for 1, 9 for 2, 10 for 3. So that's pretty inexpensive if you happen to be in the contiguous US. And then again, the options over here, 30 for 1 game, 55 for 2, 75 for 3, and then there's other package deals if you want or if you're a retailer. All right, so check that one out if you're interested. Another one that I'm following is Harakiri, Blades of Honor. And this game, when I saw the name and saw these miniatures, I thought, ooh, let me check that out. I don't have a lot of miniature-driven games, but this cooperative campaign game, that's a style of game I can get to the table, cooperative campaign, especially the cooperative part. Campaign's a little bit harder. So we have a lot of campaign games we're kind of in the midst of and haven't been able to finish any. I think probably the one that's got the best chance of being finished, we've got our Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Our son's coming back for Christmas for a couple weeks, so hoping to finish that out with him or get close. And then my wife and I have been playing a lot of role-player adventures lately, and I think we'll push our way through that one. We've been enjoying that one a lot. So the campaign nature of it, we've got Sleeping God, Seventh Continent, several other campaign games, Forgotten Waters that we haven't made our way all the way through yet. So adding another one is maybe holding me back a little bit, although this wouldn't arrive for a while, so maybe by the time it arrives, we'd have gotten through more of those. I don't know. But I also do have other Kickstarter campaign games coming, Isofarian Guard and some others too. So we have Destinies on the shelf that we've played some but haven't finished. So yeah, I don't know. I think it looks really good. The art is really pretty. I do need to, check it out a little bit more with some of the videos and get to know a little bit more about the gameplay. I'm not sure my wife would be as into the miniatures, and the cost is pretty up there. So if we look at the pledge values here, 109 euros, so 124 just for the game. And then we can get the over $200 if you want these expansions, and over $300 if you want the full deal. So I'm thinking this one's probably going to price me out. It does look tremendous though. So if you're interested, this one goes until December 14th. Next up, Weather Machine. This one's been going for a while, and 13 more days. I have not played a Vital Lacerda game, but this one is one that I've been kind of toying around with. Eagle Games makes great games. Eagle Griffin Games makes great games, great quality games. I've watched a few playthroughs. I'm a little worried it might be just a bit on the deep side for the people that I normally play with. I also have a feeling that someone from my game group that I attend will probably end up with this one, and I might get a chance to play their copy rather than owning it. So kind of leaning towards waiting to see if I can play somebody else's copy. The pledge level is 129 for the regular game, 139 for a signed copy, 249 for an express copy. Yeah, so even just the base game 129 is probably, again, pricing me out. I do hope to play this one day, but I don't think I'll probably end up playing or backing this one. David Turchi with the solitaire version for the game. That's always a good draw. He does a great job with solo versions. And we do have a lot of videos, and I have watched quite a few. I've watched the Before You Play. I've watched How It Plays with the Ant Lab crew. Watched a little bit of Slicker Drips. So yeah, I've watched a lot of videos. I think the game I would enjoy. I'm not sure my family would enjoy it as much as me. Quite a few add-ons here if you're interested, some machine parts, Nobel Prize, and then again you can pick up some of their other games on Mars, Kanban EV, Escape Plan, and again I haven't played any of these, Lisboa, Vinos, Gallerist. I'd love to try Gallerist. I've heard that's kind of on the lighter side of his games, although this one I think is even lighter. It's like the lighter version of Lisboa, but I have heard not great things about this one. It's just been kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I'd rather try a Lacerda game before I buy a Lacerda game. So I need to get with some of my gaming friends and see if some of them have some that we could try. In fact, I know someone has Galler, so I'll have to see if I can set up a time to play with him. Shipping's not too terrible, $18 to $22 if you are in the US. All right. Now we've got some that are coming up. This one is on Gamefound and coming in just a couple of days, a day and 20 hours. Palaces of Carrara. Now this is a classic game by Kramer and Kiesling, and I have not played the original. but I'm curious to know more about this one. There's not much on here yet, but this one has, being a classic, draws me in. I haven't played a lot of the classics, so when I have a chance to maybe pick up a new reworked edition, that kind of catches my attention. So I'll definitely be following this one, just launching in a couple days, by Game Brewer. And a lot of people really love Palaces of Carrara, and I think this second edition, from the few videos that I've seen, there hasn't been a lot of info out there yet, but from the few videos I've seen, I watched a Man vs. Meeple one, and I just watched another one this morning. I forget who the one was I watched this morning, but it did look pretty interesting, and so definitely be following this one when it launches in a couple days on Gamefound. The next one up that I'm looking forward to anticipating, Call of Kilforth. Now this is a part of a series of games by All or Nothing Productions, and there's, it doesn't look like there's even very many images here, just a couple. But if we go to the Kickstarter for their Gloom of Kilforth, which was an older Kickstarter, they even have in their updates here. This was originally planned to launch in the summer, and because of the way things have gone the last couple of years, it's not too surprising that this was delayed. It's now being noted that it probably will launch Q4, which is almost over, but I'm hoping, I did hear a rumor, I think it might have been Shelf Clutter that talked about this one maybe launching on the 7th, so this week. I don't know anything about the Kilforth games, but this one looks interesting, and so I'd like to try it out. This is a little bit more about the other games. So if we go to the All or Nothing game site, you can see they have quite a few games. We've got a couple in that Kilforth, Shadows and Gloom of Kilforth in that world, and this one, the Call of Kilforth, being the new one. So you can see that kind of Kilforth family of games. I haven't, like I said, haven't tried any of these, just now learning about this one, but it launches in a couple of days possibly. So definitely be checking this out to try to learn a little bit more about it. This Fantasy Quest game, sequel and standalone to these others. All right, and then another one that I'm looking forward to is Ahau. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, Rulers of Yucatan by Aperon Games. And this is one I've been following on Facebook. They have a lot of posts on Facebook about this game, and they've been promoting it and talking about it for quite some time. It looks really beautiful. Not sure on a date yet. It was supposed to be, I think, in the fall, and then Q4, and then now I haven't seen a firm date. But they have a really nice website, highly thematic, Euro-style strategy game for 1 to 5 players. Worker placement, resource management, hand management, engine building, and a simplified combat system. So that sounds really intriguing to me. I'm on their mailing list to continue to learn more about it. 90 to 120 minute playtime. Oh, here we see, I didn't see this earlier. We are planning to release it in February. So it looks like this one is going to be a little bit further down the road. I think it was originally a Q4, but now being pushed further down the road. So this one is one that I think the art is just incredible. This one looks really beautiful. So definitely be checking this one out, but I guess this one is a little bit further down the road than I expected. Looks like it will not be launching in December. Discovering that live with you here online. So I'll push this off. I'm sure I'll be talking about it more in the future when it gets actually a little bit closer to launch. This is another one that, again, was a Q4 predicted launch. Gaijin by Awaken Realms Light. I haven't really played Awaken Realms game, but the lighter version kind of intrigued me. I'm hoping it might be a little bit cheaper. Again, not a whole lot of information here, but cyberpunk adventure game, post-apocalyptic, 1 to 4 players, struggle to survive. Players struggle to survive and pursue their agendas in 2 worlds at the same time. The physical world with deadly machines, and then the virtual one. So, sounds interesting with the maps and the networks, different kind of scenarios to play through. You'll be building up your player character traits with body modifications, earning reputation. So yeah, coming 2021 was predicted for Q4. We'll see if it actually launches this month or not. So those are the crowdfunding projects that I've been watching on Gamefound and Kickstarter, the ones I've backed, the ones have followed, am following, and even a few that I'm looking forward to. So tell me down below in the comments which ones of these or other projects have you backed, or are you looking forward to, or are still following, ones that maybe I should check out that I didn't mention in this video today. Love to read those comments down below. If this was helpful or enjoyable for you in any way, it'd be terrific if you'd click on the thumbs up down below to show me that you like the video, and I'd love it if you'd choose to subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.